Hey there everybody, it's Mark Crilley. I'm back with another How to Draw video. This time we're doing how to draw a monster. Of course, everyone has their own way of drawing a monster, so what I'm going to do is just do this whole first part in time-lapse, and then you could sort of plug in the techniques that I'll be showing you later on, mainly about shading into any kind of monster that you come up with. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I've got all my lines in place. Of course, you know, the great thing about drawing fantasy creatures is nobody can tell you this is the way, or, you know, there's a wrong or right way. No, of course not. If it's a fantasy creature, you invent it, you're in control of every aspect of it, and you get a lot of freedom when you work this way. So that's why I wasn't going to sit down here and do line for line. Oh, here's how to do it. You know how to do it your own way. But what I want to do is talk about shading and how you can apply shading techniques to make a drawing of a monster or a fantasy creature look more 3D. And of course I'm kind of tying this in as I do this video. Halloween is coming up, and so this is going to be one of those types of creatures. But again, most of these techniques can be applied to any kind of fantasy creature that you might come up with. Now, the next step in the process for me is to start adding the shading. And let me talk a little bit about this because, you know, kids in school studying, the teachers are always trying to get you to learn about shading and light source and all that stuff, and it can be incredibly boring, I think, for a lot of students, and you know, because it's like drawing an apple sitting on a table or something. But the truth is, something like this can also be used as a lesson in shading, and that's or light sources and shadows and stuff like that. And that's really what I'm going to be talking about as I switch into the next part of the process. Let me just do a little bit of shading right now, not using time-lapse, so that you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. The light source in this picture is coming from over here. It's coming from the sort of lower left, and so most of the shadows are going to be falling over here on the upper right. And what I'm doing right now does not have to be really beautiful line work. I'm just sort of getting some of the first tentative bits of shade in so that I can at least lay the groundwork for an illusion of three-dimensionality. So you can see that we're getting little bits of shadow up here in the eye socket area. I'll eventually be coloring this eye in completely black. That's just kind of the monster eye that I like. And maybe this is enough for you to get a sense of the process when I'm just starting out. And let me go ahead and do the time lapse to finish throwing this process all the way through the whole drawing, and then I can come back and talk about the next step. Okay, so I did most of that with a standard number 2 Dixon Ticonderoga pencil, getting the shading in, and you can see that I'm leaving most of this area over here white, and trying to fill in as much as I can the area over here on the left with lines to darken it up to create that illusion of shadow. I'm pulling out my black Prismacolor, a more permanent colored pencil, to start working into more final lines. And I'm going to start here with this eye. And again, since we are aware of the light source, we've got this highlight over here, this white highlight. And getting it, this is maybe going to be the darkest, most intense part of the drawing, this black, sort of animal-like eye. I'm putting just a little bit of reflected light over here on the side. It's going to be considerably dimmer, but that helps give the illusion of of a rounded surface of the eye. Beyond that, the rest of this becomes a little bit like instinct, as you do more and more of this kind of thing. I think the goal is, and I found when I was younger, that I had trouble at getting truly dark with my drawings, and that I was always very tentative, and I ended up with these kind of washed out drawings. And over time, with the help of my teachers and so forth, I came to understand the value of really building towards true black, and that's where a tool like this black Prismacolor comes in handy, because it really does go absolutely black in a way that your standard number 2 pencil never will. So that's a little tip, and believe it or not, you can even, I'm always talking about reference in my videos. It's possible, even with fantasy creatures, to look at reference. I mean, you could look at Halloween masks, say. These things are sculpted, provided it's a quality mask, sculpted by people that really know what they're doing, and there is probably some anatomy underneath that, all of that, when you look at a good quality Halloween mask. And so you could do studies of that, say, to make your fantasy creatures seem a little more grounded in reality. Well, I think I've given you the basic idea of how you start with the lighter number 2 pencil lines and then start to go in with the darker black, more permanent pencil. Again, I'm going to have to do the time lapse or we'll never get through this in one video, so bear with me as I finish all this up. All right, well, you can see where at the end of that I just decided to darken in this whole area about as black as I could, and that really helps the figure pop into the foreground. And you may find when you do something like this that as a result you have to go in and start darkening things up a little more to help balance out that jet black that you put into the background. I want to just show one quick little thing that if you want to give your fantasy creature, especially someone or a creature that's supposed to be kind of hideous, frightening like this, if you want to give them just a little extra added detail, you can kind of put in a few black dots here and there that sort of suggest decaying flesh or something like that, and that just takes it up into a whole nother dimension of nastiness, which is kind of what I'm going for with this drawing. Clearly this guy is not going to win any beauty contests. Well, I hope you found that this video was useful for you. It's kind of a different thing than what I usually do, but I wanted to do something special for the Halloween festivities coming up, and I hope you found this useful. I hope you can actually apply it to some of the creatures that you've invented for your own comics or just drawings in your notebooks and so forth. And please do keep the suggestions coming. I really do try to pay attention to your suggestions, what kinds of videos you want to see me do, particularly how to draw videos. And otherwise, thanks for watching, and special thanks, as always, to anyone who has purchased my books. It really means so much for me to get your support like that. And otherwise, let's go ahead and lay the pencil down. Some people say, you said lay the pencil down and then you never actually laid it down. This time I really will. And thank you for watching, and I will be back with another video real soon.